everybody, and welcome to the channel. I am Richard. Today I am going to bring you into a comic book universe and show you a little bit about the Dark Knight. This is the Dark Knight looking like this, and he is trying to bring all of his Dark Knights into the Prime universe. And it's your job to try to stop this evil character. I am going to show you the Batman Who Laughs Rising. This is a 1 to 4 player game. It's around 60 minutes of gameplay, and it is a cool and fast game. It's quite easy to learn, doesn't take that long to set up. And I am going to show you the setup, I'm going to show you the gameplay and go through the rules, so once you have seen the video, hopefully you will feel ready to take on the Batman Who Laughs. So let's just take a look at it. This is the setup of the game. In the middle of the board we put the deployment tiles for all players to easy reach. The deployment tiles have 3 different sections. Each section have 3 different spots, and on all the 3 different spots there should be cards drawn from the deck. In the middle of this board we put the Dark Knight, and we put him randomly pointing at one of the 3 sections. Next to the board we have some bonus tokens. Every time you manage to make a damage on an enemy, you will be able to draw a bonus token, all giving you different kinds of benefits. I will show you this in a bit. These will be placed face down next to the board. This is the Dark Knight track. On the Dark Knight track we have put 7 Dark Knight cards. The last one is the Batman Who Laughs, put face down in the last spot. We have some Dark Knight counters next to the Dark Knight track as well. These will be put on the Dark Knight track further into the game. We have some damage counters, 15 different hero dice, 1 Dark Knight die and 1 Batman Who Laughs die. Each player gets to choose their team, or you can hand these out randomly. Each team has a team leader. The player that gets the Batman team, for example, should take Batman as their team leader, putting it next to their ability card. Also taking the matching deployment token. All of the different cards should of course be shuffled before placed out on the table. So in this game you portray as a hero trying to stop the Batman Who Laughs from pulling his companions into the Prime universe. The way he will do that is that slowly these cards up here on the Dark Knight track will be revealed. And sooner or later they're going to end up on this board. And he will start to pull them in and use them in the fights against you, but also against the other heroes placed out on the table. Now you will need to use your dice really smart here to be able to either recruit other heroes or beat the crap out of the enemies. Before we take a look at the gameplay, let's take a look at what we have in front of us here. This is our team ability card. Up here you have the team name. Down here you have different abilities from this team. Over here you have your starting dice pool. So you have 3 red die and 1 green. These are the ones up here. Down here you can see the name of your team leader. And you should, like I said before, pick up the corresponding team leader card. On these hero cards here you can see up here, this is the life meter, meaning that every time you take a damage you need to put a damage token on one of these spots. Up here you can see the team symbol to see which team this hero belongs to. Down here you can see what kind of combination of dice you need to be able to recruit this hero, for example. And down here you can see the ability that you will get if you have this hero on your team. But since this is the team leader, you do not have to roll any dice to recruit him because you get him at the start of the game. Each hero have a die in their own color with their results appearing more often than the rest dies. And as you can see here, some of them has a 2 down in the corner, meaning that this one here actually counts for 2 of the Green Lantern symbols instead of just 1. The first player is whoever have read a DC comic most recently. And hey, I read one yesterday, so I guess I'm the first player, right? The first thing the first player gets to do is to take their deployment token and place it out on one of the 3 sections on the deployment disk. I want to go over here. Now it's important to think a little bit before you put out your deployment token, because you can only do the actions that are in this sector. Meaning that if you want to, for example, fight an enemy or recruit another hero, you need to have your token placed in the sector where they're at. So if I want to recruit Superman over here, I would have to put my token here. But now I want to fight the evil Robins, so I'm going to start here. But before we do anything, we need to figure out what the Batman Who Laughs will actually do. To do this, we will need to roll the Batman Who Laughs and the Dark Knight Rises dice to see what he will actually do. First, we need to look at the yellow one here, showing 2 yellow cubes, meaning that we should put 2 yellow cubes on the Batman Who Rises track. As the Batman Who Laughs track becomes filled up with the yellow cubes here, these cards will go into the deck and later out on the board. Once we have done that, we need to look at the red die here. There are some different symbols on this die. So let's take a look at what the different results on this die means. If you get an L, that will mean that the Batman Who Laughs will move to the left. But if you instead got an R, it will mean that you have moved to the right. If you get an ha or ha ha ha, it means that he will stand still. There is also an L and an R and an ha with the crown around it, representing his crown on the head. Below each card there is an ability from the Batman Who Laughs that will become visible. If you roll the crown, you should activate the latest visible effect. So now we have activated the Batman Who Laughs. We have made sure to turn him in the direction that the red die was pointing at, to the left, and we have put out the cubes on the Batman Who Laughs track. Now, he will damage any hero in the sector that he's pointing at. And unfortunately, that is where Wonder Woman is. So we would need to take some damage cubes and put them out on the heroes in this sector, but also on our own little hero here, Wonder Woman, because, well, he's starting to beat the crap out of us. But now, finally, we can make our move. So now it's time for you to roll your dice to see what kind of result you get. And you get to roll the amount of dice that is either stating on your starting card here, or adding up any dice from abilities. For example, Wonder Woman here says that if she has another team member with the Wonder Woman symbol on them, she gets to roll 1 extra red or green die, taking those results into account as well. Now, when you roll your die, you roll the amount that you have, and then you assign them to whatever card you would like to assign them. If you want to make damage, you assign them to the enemy cards. If you want to recruit, you put them on the hero cards. If you do not want to assign any die during your roll, you need to, on your next roll, take away 1 die from your die pool, making each die roll less and less die every time you do not assign them to a card. So now we need to take a look at what kind of cards we have in our location. We have 2 heroes that we could recruit, and we have 1 enemy that we can't damage. Like I showed you before, we have some different symbols here. These are the symbols representing your die result, and to, for example, recruit Robin here, you would need to get 1 of each result during your turn. And if you want to damage the evil Robins over here, you would again need to have the same results on your die roll as is shown down here. So if I, on my turn, manage to get this result here, I would be able to assign these dice to the evil Robins and assign them 1 damage. You can only damage the same enemy once per turn. When you manage to damage an enemy, you get to take a bonus token. Looking like this. They have a bunch of different abilities and they're quite vital in your gameplay to be able to actually beat this game. But what do they do? The tokens with the die symbols will let you roll an extra die. This one here, for example, will give you one extra red die during your turn. But again, once you have used it, it is gone. The tokens over here will let you subtract damage from either one hero or two heroes. And the last one over here will let you take away one of the dice from the Dark Knight track. If you manage to recruit any hero during your turn, this is now that you get to take them and put them next to your ability cards. And now they are a part of your team. You also get to remove any damage tokens on them. And now you can also use their abilities in the future. Now we need to check the Dark Knight track to see if any sections are completed. This one is full, meaning that we need to take this card and place it on top of the character deck. When we eventually come to the Batman Who Laughs, we need to turn this one face up and place him beneath the Batman Who Laughs track. He is now considered to be at the location where the Batman Who Laughs figures is pointing. And now we can start to attack him as well. If a villain is defeated, which they are if they have a full amount of damage on their damage track, they are now removed from the game and put in a discard pile. Now we need to refill the empty areas with cards from the top of the character deck, placing them out on the empty spaces. Once we are done, we simply take up our little deployment token here and put it face down in front of us to show that now our turn is over and we can't do anything more. Turn now goes over to the player to the left that also takes up their deployment tokens and put them in any location where they would like to be. Now we need to roll again to see how many cubes we need to place out and to see which way the Batman Who Laughs will eventually turn and make damage. Remember that we can first start to damage the Batman Who Laughs once his card is revealed on the table. Once it's revealed on the table, we put it face up beneath the Batman Who Laughs track. Now, he is to be considered to be at the location where he points. Meaning that if I'm standing here, I can't damage him because he's over here. But players can always sacrifice one die to move their deployment token into the location where he's at, and hopefully make some damage. The Batman Who Laughs has 3 different symbols on his card, meaning that you need to make either 3 Green Lantern, 3 Batman, or 3 Hawk symbols to actually make a damage on him. And this fella here has a damage of 4 before he is defeated. But we also need to defeat him before the Batman Who Laughs track is completely full. Because if it is completely full, he has now managed to pull all of his enemies into the Prime Universe and we are going to be slaughtered. There are a lot of different heroes for you to recruit in this game, and they are pretty much key for you to be able to have a chance to beat the Batman Who Laughs. These and the bonus tokens are a pretty important detail in your gameplay. There you have it, people. That was the Batman Who Laughs Rising. This game is quite easy to learn, it's quite fast to play and set up, but it's really hard to master because you need to find the right balance between the different bonus tokens and the different recruits that you can have on your team to get the best possible die result that you can get. And it's not that easy. I mean, each hero have their die that they're a little bit better at. There are more results of Batman on the Batman die, of course. but you still need to have a little bit of strategy on how you want to play out your dice, how you want to assign them, and what you need to actually be able to beat the Batman before time runs out. It's not that easy, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a quite fast game, so during a night you could play 2 or 3 rounds of this and still have a good time, still feeling like you are doing something different in each game. So that was the video this week, people. There will be linked down in descriptions to this game, so go in and check it out there if you want to. The OP games have a lot of cool and fast games out there for you, so check them out. If you like this video, people, please give me a thumbs up, throw in a comment there, tell me what you thought about the video or the game. I would love to interact with you, even if you just want to say hi. It makes me happy. And if you like this channel, people, please do not forget to subscribe to it. It means a lot for me, and it means a lot for the channel as well. Until next time, people, please do not forget to spread that board gaming love I know you all have. Peace.